mengekspor CPO ini terus-terusan. Harus mulai kita rubah kepada barang setengah jadi atau barang jadi.
Pada saat ini upaya koordinatif tersebut telah menggerakkan berbagai program yang meningkatkan produktivitas kebun-kebun milik rakyat. Penelitian dan pengembangan teknologi pertanian sawit yang efektif, efisien, serta berkesinambungan juga untuk mempersiapkan sumber daya manusia perkebunan yang terampil.
Diperlukan tantangan untuk sebuah inovasi. Tantangan untuk membuat Indonesia dan dunia jadi lebih baik.
Bapak Presiden beserta Menko Perekonomian telah memberikan arahan. Kita harus mencari inovasi teknologi terbaru kelapa sawit untuk jadi produk energi terbarukan dan makanan sehat.
Sesuai instruksi Bapak Presiden, sudah waktunya kita tidak hanya berpikir hanya untuk laboratorium saja, tapi juga untuk sesuatu yang lebih besar, yaitu untuk rakyat Indonesia.
Kami percaya kalau kelapa sawit memiliki potensi untuk menjadi sumber energi yang dapat diperbaharui dan menjadi bahan baku yang membawa banyak kebaikan lainnya. Penelitian demi penelitian terus dilakukan. Dan dengan teknologi yang kami miliki, terungkap banyak inovasi yang berasal dari kelapa sawit. Dengan inovasi ini, kami siap untuk membuat Indonesia dan dunia jadi lebih baik. Satu kebaikan akan membawa kebaikan lainnya. Mari kita tuai bersama-sama. Harvesting the Goodness.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning from Jakarta. It's nice to be with you. It is my honor to be with you today. I'm Dadan Kusdiana from Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources of Indonesia to contribute for the success of Hannover Messe 2021 that I would like to share with you the progress of the use of palm oil. One of the use of palm oil in the country here for renewable energy implementation. I will start with you with providing you with some slides here. The first, that Indonesia is committed to reduce the greenhouse gas emission in 2030. We have been committing in Paris Agreement in 2015 that we will reduce the greenhouse gas emission by 29%. And one of the supporter for the implementation of renewable energy is the biofuel. We are now revising our national green energy strategy. This is for 2035 actually. So we put our vision that creating national energy resilience and also independence by putting more renewable energy in the production, reducing the crude oil fuel import, and also the use of the so-called LPG from coal development here in the country. For example, one of the challenges that we are facing now is that the production of crude oil is failed. The import of crude as well as also the products of gasoline are increasing year by year. We are one of the countries that exporting coal to some other countries in the world. We are abundant in terms of the coal potential. So we have also the policy how to reduce the use of coal for the coal power pipeline, but at the same time, we are going to use more coal for the utilization for further, for example, for the methyl ether as the LPG substitution, which is now still being imported. So this is the one that I would like to share with you, in particular that the use of renewable energy power plant. We are going to use the solar power plant here as the priority, and the other is to optimize biofuel production. Currently, we are using biodiesel from palm oil, and we are going to develop further for the green diesel, green gasoline, as well as also the green Apturs. We have already using the biodiesel since 2006, and I would like to share later on the progress, the implementation, and also how that the mechanism that we are implementing so far. For you that not familiar with the palm oil, this is the scheme for the utilization of palm oil as the energy. Of course, there are further utilization of oil palm as the food, as the industrial products in the process, but this is the use of palm oil for renewable energy. So I mentioned here the first is to be used in terms of electricity. Simply, we can use the gasification, or further we can use for bio-CNG. It's coming from the palm oil mill effluent here. This is the wastewater coming from the production of the palm oil factory. Other utilization of palm oil is biodiesel. This is the most advanced actually here in the country for utilization of biodiesel. We are now also in the process for developing of the green diesel, green gasoline, and green Aptur. This is the diesel or gasoline Aptur or Aptur that are 100% similar to the petroleum-based diesel fuel, but this is coming from palm oil. So we'll have the fuel which are 100% compatible with the existing fossil-based diesel or gasoline. So those are actually the potential of the use of palm oil. If we can use this, then we can reduce also the use of the fossil, whether this is for electricity or for the fuel itself. How much is actually the palm oil production in the country? There are always questions whether the use of palm oil for fuel will be provide the negative impact into the food. Here is the historical data for the use of CPO for palm oil, for domestic consumption food, and also for export. For the use of biodiesel, yes, in the graph, this is the red chart. For example, in 2015, 5 years ago, that we used less than 3 million ton of palm oil for biodiesel, compared with the production of more than 30 million metric ton of the CPO production. And the production of palm oil for biodiesel is increased year by year. Last year in 2020, we used 8.5 million metric ton of CPO to be processed further for the biodiesel. And this is only 18% of CPO produced nationally here in Indonesia. So I can say here that the use of CPO for biodiesel does not provide the impact for the use of CPO for further uses. Of course, there are some discussion whether we will increase the production of palm oil or we can increase also further the use of biodiesel. But so far, it is less than 20% of CPO produced per year used for biodiesel utilization in the country. And how is the strategy further for us to have the sustainable implementation of palm oil for renewable energy? We have some strategies, we have some programs to develop to increase the sustainability use of palm oil. It can go to be the palm oil based power plant. It can also convert it into the compressed biomethane gas. So this is in the form of gas, the other in the form of electricity. We will also convert or will use the biomass for, we call here biomass pellet. This is to increase the renewable energy mix target. So we will use this biomass blended with coal. It is called co-firing. So we will reduce the use of coal and then put more renewable energy feedstock into the combustion of coal. By this, we can increase the use of renewable energy and we can reduce actually the CO2 gas emission. Of course, the implementation of B30 will be maintained. We are also discussing with stakeholders how to implement the sustainability indicator for the implementation of biodiesel. As I mentioned that we are in the final process of the development for the green fuel to substitute the diesel fuel, gasoline, and also the bioafter. This is in particular our planning in recent future. Yeah. For example, here in 2020, the achievement of renewable energy in the energy mix, in the primary energy mix, is 11.2%. And 4% of that coming from biodiesel, which is coming from the CPO-based biodiesel. We start already the B30 since last year. Actually, the program itself has been started since 2006, as I mentioned earlier. And this increase year by year the blending ratio. We start with 1%, increase to 2.5%, then becoming 5%, 7.5, 10, 15, 20, and now we are in 30% of biodiesel blended into the diesel fuel. So by having this in gradual increase of the implementation, then we will have the experience. We can learn what is the problem when we use this kind of the new fuel coming from palm oil. And now this is the second year for us to use the B30. And so far we can manage this kind of the program. We can deliver the high quality of biofuel or biodiesel coming from almost 20 biodiesel producer. So within 10 or 15 years to come, we will have the co-processing green diesel. We will have the stand-alone green diesel. So co-processing means it will be mixed with the refinery of the fuel. And then we do also co-processing of green gasoline. And we will have some also development for the stand-alone green diesel. So in total, the use of palm oil-based fuel, this year we are targeting to use 9.2 million, and then it will be increased year by year. And by 2030, we will use 14 million metric ton of the biofuel coming from the diesel, coming from the palm oil here. And what is next? Next, we are trying to optimize the feedstock. Biofuel coming from the CPO, but the other we have more feedstock actually in the form of biomass. This will be co-firing, this will be blended, this will be mixed with the coal with the percentage of 5 to 15%, so we can reduce actually the same number of the coal. And we can reduce also the CO2 emission coming from coal, then will be substituted by the biomass. So this is one way how to increase the renewable energy, and at the same time, we will reduce the CO2 emission as we committed into the Paris Agreement. And also in particular, we will also, not actually we will, because we have already actually 1,000 megawatt of palm oil based power plant. This is coming mainly in terms of this palm oil production. So in total, actually we have almost 2,000 megawatt of bioenergy power plant, and 1,000 of that, this is using the waste, which is the industrial waste of the palm oil. And we have so huge potential for this. In our survey, in our calculation, that we can have 8,730 megawatt of renewable energy based palm oil production here. So the other also, we try to have the large scale implementation of biogas. So we will have the electricity, we use biomass coming from the palm oil industry, and we also will utilize the wastewater coming from the palm oil industry. I think this is easily converted into the biogas, but the approach now is try to have the large scale of implementation biogas, and then it will be used to substitute the, for example, the use of the gasoline, the use of diesel in the engine, or the use of LPG for the household sectors. This will open also the possibility for the people, farmer, and also the owner of the CPO production in the field to increase the sustainability and at the same time increase the use of renewable energy, and then also reducing the greenhouse gas emission. So I mentioned already that 11.2% of our energy mix coming from renewable energy, and the target is to have 26% in 2025. We have 55 years to come, and we have to increase double the use of renewable energy in the country. This is very important to us to promote renewable energy, because as I mentioned that we are committed to implement the Paris Agreement up to 29% of greenhouse gas emission reduction by 2030. So yes, biodiesel implementation has been successfully implemented in Indonesia. I think there is no other country putting 30% of palm oil-based biodiesel into the diesel fuel. We are the only country using in such high blending ratio. So in 2018, for example, we use B20, we use almost 4 million of the palm oil for biodiesel, and it can save, provide the increase of added value of almost 6 trillion. And this is providing new employment to almost 500 million farmers. And then this number I increased double in 2020 when we put 30% of palm oil-based biodiesel into the diesel fuel. So it can add more for the employment. It can reduce the greenhouse gas emission. Last year, the use of biodiesel from palm oil can reduce 22 million of CO2. So I think this is the benefit of the using palm oil biodiesel in the country to improve the sustainability and also to support the implementation of Paris Agreement. So by this, I would like to conclude that using palm oil for energy, it also can support the sustainability of this industry itself, because we can use not only the CPO, but we can further optimize the feedstock coming from the CPO industry. That's all I can share. Thank you for your kind attention.